There we go. You were fixing your hair the whole time, and then I realized that mine's like a rat's nest. Good afternoon, good morning, good day, whatever day of the week or time you're listening to this. You're welcome to Transistor Radio. Once again, I am. Whoa, I got my full name there. I am Tim Milloway today, and uh, and we're here with Rachel. And once again, we're on our fourth episode. How are you doing today, Rachel?
Good. Self-conscious in my voice today. That's okay. That's okay.
You can bring it up a notch if you want.
I'm going to try to at least stay still this week.
As we what?
Instead of moving all over the place.
Oh. Why did you find that you did that before?
I thought you found that I did that before.
Probably. So anyway, we are on week 4. We do have an agenda for today, and I'm going to bring up that agenda as we're going to talk about drugs, alcohol, and sex addiction. And then on a lighter topic, we're going to talk about transgenders that were involved in the American Revolution. Just some strange trivia stuff that's going on. So anyway, do you want to give us an update, Rachel, on your progress since we last spoke?
Oh, that's nice. I'm actually working on a lot of other changes. A few people in my trans work group. Let me back up. I am not taking hormone replacement therapy yet. My cardiologist recommended that I didn't. So he upped my testosterone blocker, spironolactone, that I also take for my heart condition. So that I was going to just take that medicine, and I'm talking to other people that said I could actually get on hormone replacement therapy with my bad heart, and if done right, it's actually good for the heart. Everything can be monitored. And a lot of trans women my age that are going, not a lot, but a handful that are going through transitions at 53, 55, 50, that are have some heart conditions, are able to do it, and they look beautiful. So it gave me a little for that. And one of my Facebook friends posted something really nice. Her 15-year-old student, she's a teacher, came out to her, and she brought me up to her, and told him that I struggled my whole life with drugs, addiction. This is relevant to the next topic.
Mm-hmm.
And she saw my suffering. She's known me online presence since 2002. She said since I came out as a transgender female, it's the happiest she's ever seen me. Seeing me become my authentic self. So that made my week. I cried. To inspire is the greatest feeling in the world. And it makes my journey easier. So that's that.
So you also been speaking at some different meetings.
I'm also my
related to the addiction.
I'm changing my whole routine. So a lot of my normal meetings are done. I quit my home group for over 20 years.
Oh, really?
I'm going to all gay and sober meetings and trans AA meetings. and women meetings once in a while. I'm still going to go to Lifeline Tim. Are we allowed to say that? It's profanity.
Lifeline is a very generic. It's a very generic term.
So yeah, the meetings are still great.
Yeah.
But overall, I think I'm more comfortable around my own kind.
Yes, yes. And yeah,
getting that vulnerable, especially.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you still feel comfortable with me. Just to give our audience an update, Rachel is a male to female transgender, and I am a basically somebody who had has dealt with transgender issues all my life and struggled with it in my early in my teens and my 20s and 30s, and came to a revelation that that transitioning would not be the best fit for myself, and but still feeling a need and a desire to be involved in the transgender community, as it feels very important to me, and I feel that there is a message that I have, and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but that's the point of the show.
The balance is nice.
The balance is nice, yes. Yeah, I don't have a desire to to transition or to even cross-dress at this point, given the natures of the addictions that I've had and the struggles that I've had, and that I am okay with and comfortable in my skin. And I hope that my message is that, because I think a lot of people struggle with gender issues, whether it's through dysphoria or gender euphoria, which I had talked about before, and like myself, I've used drugs, sex, and alcohol for during those periods in my life, which clouded my judgment, and and finally, when those diseases were either partially or fully removed, I was better able to see myself as I am today, and I believe Rachel has well, I'll let Rachel speak for herself. Also with different results.
Total opposite.
Total opposite. But nevertheless,
your transgenderism leads you to a drink. Mine leads me away.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Transgenderism sounds like we have a disease.
Yes.
I mean, we do, but not to do with my transgender.
No. And
being transgender, my transgender.
And the point of the show is that we want to, create an atmosphere of positivity towards healthy living. And despite, which direction that you feel is best for you. I mean, you could be somebody out there cross-dressing all your life, struggling with your gender issues and drinking like a fish, and and then watching this show, and you may identify more with my journey, or you may be somebody who's struggling from drugs, alcohol, and sex, and identify more with Rachel's story. And neither one.
Also, good.
Oh, I was going to just say, there's no right or wrong here, which is great,
Right. I was going to say we're probably going to have guests that vary along the whole gender fluid scale.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to hear their stories and see how, what what motivates them, um, um, to in their journey through, their gender journey. Yeah, that's a good word. I like that. Gender journey. Isn't that a good
You got to
word?
learn to say it first.
It took me 30 years to learn anonymous.
Wow. Anonymity?
Anonymity. Did
There
I
it
say it right?
is. Yes.
So, do you want to talk a little bit about about drugs and alcohol and sex for you, Rachel? And
I don't know how much I'll be repeating from my story.
that's some people may have already heard the story, or maybe some didn't, and some forgot it.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to start?
Oh no. Gathering my thoughts.
Gathering your
Instead of
thoughts.
just talking like I used to do. Well, I came out to myself as transgender female on May 4th. And I love that story. I love that coming out that week. May 1st is my birthday when I was physically born. May 4th is when I was born again as my true self. Now May 8th is my alcoholic, my clean time, my anniversary of not drinking drugs. So that's my AA birthday. So 3 birthdays in that 1 week, but it's a lot of I don't know where I was going. It's a powerful week having 3 birthdays. Is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I hit a point in my recovery. There was something wrong, and I had no idea what it was. And I kept turning to cross-dressing. And my therapist had suggested gender fluidity. Look into it. Maybe I'm not the gender I was born. And the floodgates opened from there. Memories popping up of every time I wanted to become a woman, dress like a woman, fantasize about being a woman. And I always blocked it out. So it turns out that's why I was drinking, because I buried the fact that I wanted to be a woman. I started drinking when I was 13. It was fun, made me feel good. And I got to escape any pains that I was already avoiding. So that continued into my 20s. I got into drugs, crack cocaine in the early 90s. And then I found recovery when I was 24. I spent 16 years sober. 16 years, 11 months, and 3 days, to be exact. And then I relapsed for the first time. Going
What did you relapse on?
Anniversary. I had a 6-pack and a half a pint of whiskey and went to bed.
Wow.
That was it. And I got sober for 2 more years. And the whole idea of having a relapse under my belt gave me the freedom to relapse again and again. I always remember, well, I got away with it once, I'll get away with it. I was running from myself. I was running from who I was. So much I didn't want to deal with. So much shame. There's a topic for another episode. Somebody was talking about between shame and guilt. Shame is that crippling inner evil feeling like I did something horrible. I don't want anybody to know. Guilt is more like I feel bad about something I did, but that can be corrected. That I always what's the word? Imposter syndrome is common amongst transgender. I always felt like I was going to get caught as a fraud, as a person, as a fake. I never knew why. I didn't know what they're going to find out about me. So I drank on and off for 12 years after that first relapse, and eventually found my new lover, crack cocaine. And so we were talking about sex addiction, weren't we?
Yeah, sex.
Sex gave me the same euphoric feelings that drugs did, and they always hand in hand. My whole life was driven sexually by media, and other men. My whole popularity, I thought, was by women I dated, or people think I'm cooler because I have all the women. I'm going to feel better about myself if I have more sex with women. And the more women I have sex with, the more notches on my belt, the better I would feel about myself, or the more a woman would love me or fall in love. I only felt as good as other people felt about me. And then eventually, the sex just took over. It was more important than love. Fast forward to a 52-year-old man living in his mother's bare bedroom, smoking crack and watching porn, masturbating for hours and hours. Took my third heart attack to finally stop treating my body horribly. And after a year of cleaning my body, eating right, exercising, taking care of my mental health with therapy, sponsorship in Alcoholics Anonymous, helping other people, I went back to my childhood church, and have a strong relationship with God. It took all of that to finally be comfortable in my own skin. So my gender dysphoria is very light because luckily I got to love myself for who I am before I realized who I really am. And here I am. I'll have 17 months this week sober. And it's my, let's see, May, June. On my 6th month after I came out. 6 months out as Rachel. It's been wonderful. I have a lot of friends that don't know my birth name. Not just trans friends, straight, cisgender friends, gay friends, everything. Women, and it's when I came out, I also my sex addiction, I think, met its last. It was on its last feet before I came out. When I came out, it just seemed to fizzle. As did any thoughts of alcohol, drinking, drugs, smoking cigarettes. And and a lot of bad behaviors. So as good as I feel, I still have to work on myself every day. I have to remind myself I'm an alcoholic, I'm an addict, I'm a bipolar, transgender woman. And these are the things I'm going to face for the day, which is empowering. And every time I have to work on something new, I look at it as an opportunity to become a better, healthier person. I don't know. Any input on any of that, Tim?
Well, I think that this, the story is the same. I mean, I don't want to repeat too much, but basically, I mean, for me, I didn't know how to deal with, when I started cross-dressing, it was, I wasn't drinking when I first cross-dressed. I just, did it, and I don't know why.
I don't know why you started.
No, I have no idea. It was a curiosity, and that's why I still think that, it'll always be a part of me, because it was a part of me as a young child, and so there will always be a little piece of that in me, and I just learned to express it in my own different ways, and which provides me comfort and love and stability, and but the drink ended up helping me cope with it, because I didn't have any other way to cope. There was nobody really to talk to, and I was actually talking to my wife about this a couple of days ago at dinner, and I was saying that I was very lucky that I'm a sort of, I have an outgoing personality. I feel I've always been an extrovert, and I think that in part saved me a lot of ways, because because not only alcohol, drugs, and sex addiction can be a very isolating disease, and we can isolate ourselves and completely separate ourselves from the human race. I mean, I can see easily, spending a good portion of my life, cross-dressing and drinking and not seeing anybody else, and not dealing, but doing that doesn't deal with the issue. If you're sitting at home and you're cross-dressing and you're keeping it a secret, you're not doing anybody any good, And luckily for me, I had a very outgoing personality and a very curious personality, which enabled me, not only did I take risks, because I started, going shopping at a very young age when I was like, 16, 17, 18 years old, cross-dressed, and in stores. I remember Two Guys. You remember Two Guys, the store Two Guys?
Yeah. So you would dress up?
Yeah, definitely.
And go dress shopping? Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I
didn't start doing that until this year.
And, I used to go to the airport, it was crazy. But that outgoing personality also enabled me to, because I was telling my wife, one of the reasons that I went to, gay bars and stuff like that, I was looking for people just like me. I was looking for people, and I figured this is where I'd find them, and to be totally honest, I did meet some people, but I didn't really make any connections. And the first connection that I actually made was with a group called Renaissance, which hopefully we can talk with the founder of Renaissance at some point on this show, or one of the co-founders.
Forgetting they actually have a little
What's that?
part of my story, my trans story.
Sure, go ahead.
Renaissance. I had actually called them at one point. when I first got sober in the 90s, I don't know where I saw the ad. I just remember calling and hearing the descriptions of what they do. It was very exciting. I could live my life as a woman, and there's someone that would help me dress.
Yeah.
And then I went and had sex with somebody and forgot about it.
Yeah. Hopefully we can have, the co-founder of that, her name is escaped me at the moment. But actually, there are, they used to print out a newsletter like once a quarter, right? And
maybe that's.
It was just a little Renaissance news quarter, and they're available online now. And I was able to find one of the ones and I'm in it. I have a great story in which I was at the Renaissance and speaking with a person, and we were just talking about what we did for a living, and he told me he was a teacher, and he asked me what high school I went to, and I told him, and he goes, "There's a teacher here from that school."
Oh, really? Really?
Yes. And here it was brother, I'll just say brother L. And he was a brother in, a religious brother. And all of a sudden, she walked over to me, and I was like, "Oh my God!" So anyway, there's a picture. I found the picture of me and her and they put a little blurb, student and teacher meet at Renaissance. I'd be happy to show you.
That's adorable. Yeah.
I thought I looked better than I did. I hadn't seen myself in a long time, and when I finally saw that picture, I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't really look as great as I thought I did." So anyway, we're at 27 minutes already. So, but anyway, our message about drugs, alcohol, and sex is, basically, seek help for the drugs, alcohol, and sex before you make any decisions. I think from our own experiences that, when we took actions about our addiction, it clarified our own minds, in regards to our gender dysphoria or just general gender issues. But we're going to lighten up the subject at this point to take us home here, because what I found it interesting is that I found a couple of American war heroes that were transgender people. Let's bring them up here. Let's see. You're vibrating a little bit, Rachel.
What kind of know what to do about that?
Let's see. So let's bring this up here. Let's go to the next slide. So this gentleman or lady here is Charles Chevaux de. You want to give that a shot, Rachel?
Charles Chevalier Dion de Beaumont.
Okay, very good. So the story behind this gentleman it's kind of got a a bit of mystery to it. Speculation began in London as to Xavier's sex. Eventually, in need of money, he prevented to be, can you say that word? In 1775, he presented himself as a woman. Very good.
No, awesome. I don't know.
That sounds good. But let's see. But Ian ordered to return to France to wearing women's dress, and in 1777 he received a command by order of the king Oh my God! Look at this, Charles.
I'll
Look at
let
this
you
long
do
name. We're not even going to go there. We're just going to call him Charles. Commanded to leave off the dragon's uniform which she was wearing, and to dress according to her sex. Therefore, always be worn. Therefore, he always wore women's dress. Having returned to London in 1785, he died there 25 years later. An autopsy performed 2 days later upon his death certified him as male. I switched these things around. There's more information about the how it relates to the American Revolution. But let's go to our next, who is a Polish. And how'd you say his name, Rachel?
I don't know. Casimir Pulaski.
Casimir Pulaski. Now this gentleman is the opposite, as he was he presented himself as a man. He was a war hero. He was baptized in Poland. His parents opted for a ceremony due to an unspecific debility. For centuries, historians assumed this was ordinary postnatal weakness, not uncommon to newborns. However, DNA analysis on Pulaski's skeleton, basically saw him as he had female. He was a female.
You don't want to say intermediate genitalia?
What's that?
What is that a different description? Okay.
Oh, okay. But anyway,
Term.
yeah, this is and maybe next week I can have a little bit more information on these guys and what they did in the American Revolution. These guys and girls, because they were important to the revolution. And I think our general message here is that it's like, hey, it's like, even though in the news today, that's all you hear about is, some of the negativity is that, all of a sudden everybody wants to be a transgender. You know what I mean? Sometimes public perception is, but we can go back, 200 years, 250 years to our American Revolution, and this has always been there. And this is not something new. It's, it's in the American Indian culture, and hopefully we can have an episode on that. But anyway, we're running out of time, or we ran out of time. And your speaker is making weird sounds. So
I thought it was you. It sounds like there's somebody playing a beatbox in the background.
No, as soon as
I hear music or something.
I think it's coming from you. Let me see. I'm going to mute you. Yeah, it's coming from you. When I muted you, it was there. So anyway, I'm Tim, and we'll be back next week with more exciting Transistor Radio topics. And if you happen to come upon this show in the topics, in the comments, leave us something that you want to talk about, or criticize us, or whatever you want to do.
Make fun of my makeup.
Comment on Rachel's makeup. Comment on my makeup. And anyway, let's sign out. Let's sign out. Don't I have like a goodbye thing? Hold on. Remember our thank you? Let's see.